Welcome back to the last part of our movies app. To quickly recap what we did in the previous parts, so we built out this main page for the movies app, which is currently displaying the trending movies. In this part, what we'll do is we'll build out search functionality so we can type in any word and get the movies results based on that. So let's get started. First, in order to build out the search form, as user starts typing, we need to save the data as a state. So I'm gonna create a new state, name it form inputs, and declare it as like empty object for now. Also, once user presses the search, I'm gonna save that search query also as a separate state. So I'm gonna name it search term. And declare it as like an empty string. Alright, and then we'll add the form itself somewhere above where the movie's results are, so here. And we're gonna create basic form. And the value would be same as the state we declared in here, so it would be search term. We're going to also declare onChange function, just leave it empty for now. Actually, we don't have to make this field required. Well, in case they want to press search, then yeah, it has to be required. And we're gonna add another button here so that user can press search. Let's save this. Oh, before we save it, let's create the function for the onChange. So we are gonna name it handle inputs, and every time user updates the form, we're gonna store it inside the form input. So we're taking the event and setting it as form inputs. We also want to set it as a search term because eventually we'll be using that term to make the query to the API. It's also define the function for the button. We're gonna add it as form on submit equals, let's name it search. And this function is going to just take the keyword and make a query to the API, and after the query is made, we're gonna display the movies that we get back. So first, event default to prevent users from making the request multiple times. Then let's fetch the movies from the API. So the URL I'm gonna be using one they have for the search in their documentation. Actually, sorry, I'm gonna maximize this so you guys can see better. So over here we used their trending endpoint, and here we'll be using the one that they have for search. I'm just gonna copy it. And paste it in here, and it needs parameters. Of course, it needs API key, which already we stored it as an environment variable in the previous video. We're also going to set language to English and then pass the query. So this is going to be the search term, and we're only going to fetch one page for now. Exclude the adult movies. So let's await for this results. And once we get the results back, then we're gonna set the search term results as movies results. And this will automatically update the movies items we have. Missing a dot here. To be able to update CSS, we would have to go back to app.js file and import our styles file. So globals.css is going to be our styles file, so I'm going to be importing it here. All right, let's see how this is working. Yep, let's see and press search. So we get results that have this keyword inside, and this is only like the first page of results. Alright, so for the next part of the video, I'm just gonna do styling. This page look a little nicer. If you're interested in that, you can stay. If you're not, let me know down in the comments, and I can push this project to the GitHub and you can just like copy from there. Okay, so let's get started on the styling. I'm going to start styling of the movies first. So let's expand this, go over to the movie tab and see what we have here. All right, I'm also going to open up our styles file. Width and height to the movie. Let's add some border. And see what was the movie wrapped inside. So it was this. So movies are listed inside this container. So we're gonna make this container flex. And we want, if movies don't fit on one line, for them to go on the second row. Next thing we're going to, so we updated the image, we're gonna do overview now. So we kind of want overview to only appear when we hover over the image of the movie. So that's why we're gonna set the position absolute and have it under the movie so it comes up when it's hovered. So left would be 0, right also 0. and add a little transition so the moving it is a little bit smoother.
We don't want
it going over the height of the movie itself, which is the parent container. We're just gonna set background color as black, and the text is gonna be white itself. And then once the movie is hovered over, we're gonna change the position of the overview. So it's over the movie.
not the text, just the transform. Transform.
Alright, let's see what we have here. First, so you can see the size is small, and when we hover over, we can see the description. Now let's go back and update the rest of the app. For the rest of it, I'm gonna use this UI library. It's called React Bootstrap. It gives us, I'm gonna copy the install command and paste it in my terminal. And before this loads and gets installed, let's take a look at some of their components. So they have a lot of components like navigation bars, buttons, alerts, anything that you would mostly need. And you can also like always create your own theme and customize and like override their own styling. So it's still installing for me, but let's go back to the index page, and I'm gonna import some of the components from the React Bootstrap. So I'm gonna use their button, container, row, and column. So I'm gonna wrap this search into a row instead of a div. And then we're gonna have a container. This determines like the size of container on the medium viewport. Oh. And we're gonna add the class name on the form so we can update its styling as well. So we have a class name here. For the button, I'm gonna remove this text and instead paste the search icon from, I copied it from W3, so I'm just gonna paste it in here and have that. Okay, let's update some of this right now so we don't have icon this size. So let's start with updating the search form. I'm just gonna paste the color hash that I have saved here. Position is gonna be relative. add some padding at the top. Okay, let's do search now. Border is gonna be a little bit rounded. That's why we're setting the radius to 5 rem. Background color is gonna be white. And width 100%. All right, let's update this button here. And also, the form comes with like alerts just because we set this as required. We want this right next to the input, so we're gonna also set the position as absolute. Okay, we're gonna update styling of this too, so it's not gonna look like this. So we have button search. Now let's update. Oh, let's set this too. So we added this classes to the button, so it's basically setting the width of the search icon and the height. Okay, here it is. Now let's update the SVG itself. Actually, we don't have to set, we already did that. So display is going to be block, and we want it to align it in the middle. Let's also set this. This border, so it would be, let's see, let's do here, border 0. Okay, it's gone. And I'm gonna also remove border. What I'm gonna do actually is that I'm gonna create like a red background here. So I'm gonna go back to the components, I mean the index file, and declare a component for that at the top of the head. And define its styling here. So we want position absolute just because it's gonna be at the very top, but behind all the other components. So we're gonna also set like the index to be 0. Width is gonna be 100%. Height is also gonna be, well, it's gonna be 300 maybe. Let's try that. It's gonna be at the very top. I'm gonna paste the hash for the background color. It may be similar to Netflix, yeah. Anyways, let's see. Okay, so let's do some work on this part itself. So I'm gonna wrap everything in the container, and then center it. I'll also maybe change a little bit the background of the movies. I'm gonna remove the names just because the names are already on the images. So let's go back to the index file. Now the names actually, since it's a movie component, it's gonna be inside components movie. Yeah, here's the title. So now everything is like, should be nicely lined up just because all the image sizings are the same. So let's see if we have wrapped. Oh yeah, we have container here, so we're just gonna update the styling for that. So usually that's done in the beginning. I missed that. So maybe set like maximum width to 1200 pixels, margin auto so we can center it, and we're gonna add some padding on the side. Let's see. We also want to wrap the movies component inside the container, so in here. And we're gonna put this red background outside of the container because we don't want this white space on the left. So it's gonna be in here. Oh, it's breaking just because we need to wrap it into a single component. Like the main one, outer one should be single. And let's update the body color to be black. Okay, this is it for the Movies app. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you for watching. So this was the last part, but if you have any other questions or have any other ideas of what you want to see about